Thank you very much. If you came this far, means you've been following our videos and paying attention to what we're doing. We appreciate it. If you click the button, likes, make some comments. If you think this is being very helpful, subscribe to our channel. Okay, using headlights. Proper use headlights is critical to safe driving. Headlights must be used between 1.5 hour after sunset and 1.5 hour before sunrise. Headlights must also be used when visibility is 500 feet or less. When using windshields wipers during rain, snow, ice, and when encountering fog, mist, smoke, or other factors that reduce visibility. Being able to see clearly while driving is especially important. A vehicle's lights should always be in good working order and clean. Headlights help other motorists see approaching vehicles. Parking or auxiliary lights cannot legally be used in place of headlights when headlights are required. Bright and dim. Headlights have two sets of beams, bright high and dim low, which are controlled by a switch button or near dashboard. The bright beam is for open country driving when there is no traffic in sight. The bright beam helps a motorist see further ahead and peripherally at a wider angle. At night, a motorist's pupils are dilated, allowing more light to aid in the ability to see. Bright beams can momentarily blind other motorists by constricting the pupils and should not be used in other vehicles are approaching or when driving behind another vehicle. It can take 3 to 5 seconds for a motorist to recover from the glare. At approaching high beams headlights at a speed of 50 miles per hour, a motorist will have traveled the length of a football field while being unable to see. If a vehicle is approaching with high beams, a motorist should look to the right of the road until the vehicle passes. Never flash high beams at approaching motorists. The dim beams are used for city driving and driving at traffic on roadways. Dim beams are focused down on the road. Dim beams are used when traveling behind the other vehicles or when another vehicle is approaching. Other types of light. Parking lights. Parking lights are used for a short period of time, such as when a vehicle is left in a permitted zone to show other motorists where a vehicle is parked. Parking lights are required on vehicles parked in areas other than business and residential zones. Tail lights. Tail lights turn on the same time as a vehicle headlights and parking lights. They become brighter when a motorist applies the brakes to show that he is slowing or stopping during the day. Without headlights, the tailgates also turn on as a motorist applies to brakes. Brake lights. Brake lights become brighter when a motorist applies the brakes, showing that the vehicle is slowing or stopping. Entering overhead lights. Found inside the vehicle, this type of lights should be used only briefly when necessary. When driving on the complete with a police officer's request, it illuminates the motorist compartment of the vehicle when stopped. Dashboard lights. If dashboard lights are too bright, they might create a glare of the motorist and impede vision. The lights should be kept dim but still light enough for a motorist to read the dial. Spotlights. Spotlights should be used only when emergencies. This also applies to emergency flasher hazard lights. Spotlights may not be used for driving purposes. Fog lights. These auxiliary driving lights might be used with the low beams headlights to provide general lighting ahead of a motor vehicle, especially during foggy weather conditions. Now, parking regulations. A motorist should always check for traffic when leaving a vehicle after parking. If he/she should also check the bicycles or mopeds which are sometimes difficult to see before opening the driver's side door. In exiting the vehicle, a motorist opening a door into traffic may be liable for any crash with a moving vehicle. It is safer for passengers to exit a parked vehicle from the curbside. A motorist should read parking signs before parking on a city streets to be aware of restrictions or time limits. It is illegal for vehicles to be parked more than 6 inches from the curbs. Do not park unless directed to do so by a police officer, or to avoid a crash. A motorist should never stop or park at any of the following places. Do not park in a crosswalk, between a safety zone of pedestrian, at adjacent curb, or within 20 feet of the end of the safety zone. Do not park near properly marked street construction, in a space on public-private property marked for vehicle parking for persons with disability unless legally unauthorized, on an interstate highway, in a sidewalk, in a bus zone, in front of public or private driveway, within an intersection, within 10 feet or fire hydrant, within 25 feet or crosswalk, at intersection or sideline of a street or intersection highway except an alley, within 50 feet of a railroad crossing, within 50 feet of a stop sign, within 20 feet of the driveway entrance to any fire stations, and within 75 feet of the streets opposite a fire station entrance, on any bridge or elevated roadway, or in any tunnel next to another vehicle parked at the curb. Double parking in an area where parking is prohibited by municipal ordinance. In case of mechanical trouble or other emergency, a motorist should stop on the right highway shoulder and turn on emergency flashers. Cellular telephones. State laws prohibit the use of handheld electronic devices such as cellular telephone while driving a motor vehicle on any public road or highway. Using a handheld cellular telephone or texting device is a primary offense. Law enforcement may stop aside a motorist, especially for these actions. Motorists are permitted to use a hand-free cellular telephone if it does not interfere with any federally required safety equipment or with the safer operation of the vehicle. Although the use of hands-free cellular telephone is legal, it is strongly discouraged. A handheld cellular telephone might be used only in certain emergency situations, which include fire, traffic crash, serious road. Sorry, we're using iPhone 7 over here. If you help us out by subscribing to our channel, maybe we'll get a higher quality of phone to start recording. Okay, we're almost done here. They say storage is almost full and I cannot keep on recording. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so a handheld cellular telephone might be used only in certain emergency situations, which include fire, traffic crash, serious road hazard, medical emergency, hazardous material emergencies. Motorists in the above-mentioned circumstances must keep one hand on the steering wheel while using a handheld telephone to prove legal use of a handheld telephone. While operating a motor vehicle, a motorist might be asked to produce testimony or written statements from appropriate authorities or telephone records. The fine for breaking this law is $400 for a first offense, $600 for a second offense within 10 years of the first offense, $800 for a third offense within 10 years of the second offense. And for all subsequent offenses, a person convicted of a third of subsequent violation shall also be assessed 3 motor vehicle penalty points. Okay, Illegal use of a cellular phone while driving is a recklessness under the vehicular homicide and assault by auto status. The intent and effect of this law is to make it easier for prosecutors to obtain convictions for vehicular homicide or assaults by auto against a person who illegally uses a cell phone while driving and as a result kills or injures someone. A graduated driver's license (GTL) holder might not use a handheld or hand-free cellular telephone or any other handheld electronic device when behind the wheel. Doing so violates GTL restrictions. A school bus driver might not use a handheld or hands-free cellular telephone while operating a school bus except in emergency or when the school bus is parked in a safe area of highway. Okay, littering. This is a very good one. Throwing trash, debris, or rubbish from a moving or parked vehicle is illegal. Litter is a safety hazard and an eyesore. Fines of up to $1,000 may be imposed on motorists found throwing dangerous objects from a vehicle onto a roadway. If the vehicle is moving when the litter is thrown, the motorist may lose his or her license. All trash, debris, or rubbish carried in a vehicle must be covered to keep it from littering the roadway. So this was Chapter 4, Safe Driving Rules and Regulations. I appreciate if you came this far. Please subscribe to our channel. I really appreciate your support. The next videos will be about Chapter 5. Hope this is very helpful to you. Help us support our channel, please. Appreciate it. See you in the next one.